Hi everyone, so welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Chloe. I am a singer, songwriter, writer and a guitarist, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, something that I've never done on this I've never done on this channel before. And as you can tell by the title, I am doing kind of like a yearly writing preview, kind of like going through just all of my projects and just kind of talking about what I'd like to achieve with them this year. I obviously did plan this video out. I originally planned it month by month. However, I found that it was just stressing me out a little, so I decided to do it in a different way, and I did it by project instead. And that is what I'm going to be using to talk about my projects with you today. So I've only got like 5 projects written down that I know I'll be working on this year. It might change though, because I might have other projects as well. I think it'll just depend really, and I think I'll probably do like a yearly writing wrap up at the end of the year. But obviously that's like next year type stuff, so I'm not going to worry about that right today. So I think we should just get straight into this video because I'm really excited about this. So I think that we should start off with Adrenaline Rush. Adrenaline Rush is the project that I started in November 2016, because that was my first year participating in NaNoWriMo, and I kind of won, kind of didn't, because I wrote 45,000 words in November, and then January and February 2018 I finished that draft and it got to 65,000 words. And obviously now I'm completely re-outlining it, and I'm planning on rewriting it as well, because back then it was very poorly underdeveloped. I've said this so many times. People that watch my channel often probably get tired of me saying it, but if you're new here, then basically back in like 2016, wait no, 2016, 2007, no, it must have been 2017. Yeah, 2017 was my first year with not Camp NaNoWriMo, but NaNoWriMo. That was what happened. It was just very poorly underdeveloped, that kind of thing. So this year, I obviously would like to finish re-outlining it, ideally by the end of January, because in February and March I'd like to be writing the first draft. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to writing it, but first I do kind of need to finish my outline first, because I'm very intensive when it comes to outlining. And then also, if I can get onto the second draft this year, that would be amazing. Probably towards the end of the year. I don't really have like a time for when I want to do all this, but I guess you'll kind of find out throughout the year in my monthly goals. But if I can, I'd really like to get onto the second draft. But I'm not going to push myself to achieve and get to the second draft of AR. And then we have the definition of love, which is a project I've talked about and focused on so much on this channel because it was the main one last year. I'd really like it to be the main focus this year as well, but I think it's going to be half and half between the definition of love and Adrenaline Rush, because I do really want to get Adrenaline Rush done, because I want it to be the first book that I publish. I can see myself publishing it in a few years, so getting onto the second draft of Adrenaline Rush would be quite good for me this year. But obviously I'm not going to push myself for that, like I said. With the definition of love, I'd really like to finish the second draft of hopefully by April. So in April I can be working on the third draft / revisions in April, so I can send it off to beta readers I guess this is kind of my way of trying to get you interested, because I don't really know how to get beta readers' attention. So if you are interested in beta reading The Definition of Love, if you've heard about it before in previous videos, then please do let me know, because I'm not sure how I'm going to be requesting beta readers for it. Yeah, so do let me know if you're interested. And then I'm hoping for The Definition of Love to be with beta readers for 10 to 12 weeks. I realise it's a really long time period for a book to be in the beta reading phase slash stage. But the thing is, it's 140,000 words, and I want to be able to give beta readers the time they need to read that and give me feedback based off of the book. Obviously that's what beta reading is, but I want them to be able to read it at a reasonable pace so they can get a feel for the whole kind of story and plots and subplots and plot lines, everything like that, storylines. You get what I mean. I think it'd be better to give beta readers more time than a really tight time frame, just because I have that mindset where you need to be patient with those kind of things, but you do need to kind of tie it off at some point. So that's kind of why the maximum of time I'll be giving beta readers is 12 weeks, which is 3 months when you think about it, but it took me 3 months to write the books, so I guess it kind of works out well, but you get where I'm going. And then obviously once I've gotten feedback from my beta readers, I will obviously be working on the 4th draft based off their feedback. And so I think that's kind of my plan for The Definition of Love. I don't really have any plans for any other books to go into the beta reading stage this year. If I do, that's great. If not, then that's fine. Because like I said, Adrenaline Rush probably won't be ready until at some point next year, for beta reading, that is. Obviously I talk a lot about my books on here, because this is kind of like a niche channel, I guess, because I do so much writing related stuff, but I also do quite a lot of music related stuff, which will bring me onto A Funny Kind of Love in a minute, but that's not the book I'm going to be talking about next, because you might know the links, you might not know the links. I can't even remember what I was saying, but with The Definition of Love, I actually cannot remember what I was saying for dear life. Oh yeah, Adrenaline Rush on beta readers. Yeah, I don't think I'll want beta readers for Adrenaline Rush until next year, so that's just a heads up. So let's move on to the second book in kind of like the AR series. It's officially called the Out of the World series because it's the theme park all of the books will be based in. So Dopamine Surge is the second book in the Out of the World series, and this year I'm hopefully I will be able to brainstorm for it, outline, and hopefully write the first draft, the whole first draft as well. I realise this might be a bit ambitious, but at the end of the year I'd like to have at least something of Dopamine Surge that's kind of like solid and solidified, because I'll either be writing it at the end of this year in NaNoWriMo and hopefully finishing it in NaNoWriMo, or I will be starting next year, but I'm not entirely sure when just yet, obviously, because that's still quite a way in the future, so I won't know just yet. And then we get on to A Funny Kind of Love. So obviously I revealed the title for this book last November. It wasn't like a grand title reveal, it was just a reveal, just a title reveal. Don't really know if it went well or not. I did kind of accidentally leak it a little bit early because the initials were in my monthly goals, which I posted on Instagram a few days early. But I've been working on the book since, I want to say probably about June, July, when I was finishing writing The Definition of Love. I've had the idea for that book, for A Funny Kind of Love, since then, and I'm still waiting to write the damn book. And that is actually my plan for this year. I'm kind of hoping it will be around 120,000 words, just a little bit shorter than The Definition of Love, because a lot happens in the book. Like, I'm just thinking now, there's probably so much I'm not thinking of that happens in the book, because so much happens. It's actually a little bit ridiculous. And that makes me start to think that it will probably end up being around the same length as The Definition of Love. But by the end of the year, the general idea is to have finished the first draft and to have put it to one side, and just whenever I put like a first draft to the side, I'll always like kind of start a new one, or I'll be doing something else. Something else I'm usually either outlining or brainstorming or something like that, something along those lines. Or working on the second draft of a book. Not like, for example, if I was to write AR, I wouldn't then go ahead and put it aside just to go and start a second draft of it straight away. I would never do that. It would be a different project each time. So I've kind of got a lot of plans for each series that I'm working on, because obviously AR is part of a trilogy, and The Definition of Love, A Funny Kind of Love, and the third book in that series are all part of an 8-book series, or 9-book series. I'm not entirely sure just yet, but I am like looking forward to that series the most. I don't know what it is, but I'd rather publish a trilogy first, because then I've got something like set in stone and I know I can work off of. Well, the plan is to get the trilogy published first, ideally, because I want to have something like to ground me, if you know what I mean. And speaking of, and moving on to the other series with the third book, which I won't be revealing the title until the end of this year. It'll probably kind of be around the same time as I did for A Funny Kind of Love. So probably September, October, November sort of time I'll be revealing that title. But for that book, ideally I would like to brainstorm that and pre-outline, because my process is very intensive. As some of you might know, I'm just very intensive with my outlining, and I sat on my foot and it's going numb and dead. And so pre-outlining the third book will obviously allow me to outline and write in 2020. Bloody hell, the time has gone so fast. And I was hoping that my first book would be published in 2020. That's not gonna happen. Actually, saying that, in 2020, The Definition of Love might be close. But obviously I don't want to publish that first, do I? I guess it's just, publishing is something that I do really want to talk about in like a separate video, like all together, where I just talk about publishing as a whole, and kind of like my plans for the future with publishing and everything like that. I'd really like to do that video, so please do let me know if you wish to see that video. But I think that is pretty much all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also make sure to subscribe down below and ding that bell to be notified every single time I upload. All of my social media links will be in the description down below. Make sure you go and check them out if you so wish to. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!